Welcome back into the Dynasty lunch break. I am your host, Garrett Price, and I'm excited to get into all the fun things that we have planned for today. Now, I do apologize. My camera, I just realized I'm still looking into the old one. For some reason, OBS and my camera just don't want to communicate. They don't want to talk. They're not being nice to each other. I don't get it. I don't understand why. But that's what we're dealing with at the moment. And it is what it is. These kind of things happen from time to time. So, unfortunately, you've got the other camera angle right now that we're dealing with. I got something in my hair. Look, we're a mess. We're a hot mess. But we're here and we're excited because today we are going to be doing a mock draft. Now, it's been about a month since we've done a mock draft, but I don't want to just do the same mock draft every time. It's been a long time since I've been in a 1 QB mock draft. Yes, a 1 QB mock draft or a 1 QB league. I'm only in 1 QB, 1 QB league. That's it. So I figured perfect time to hop in. Let's test this out. Let's see how these go. Because who knows, maybe one day I'll hop back in. But I'm going to do it 14-team style. That's right, 14-team style, so that way we can get as many of you guys in as humanly possible. Matt's in the house. Matt, good to see you, buddy. Happy lunch break. Absolutely. Faith and Fantasy said, had a tough time getting on today for some reason. Yeah, it was a day. Look, I'll be honest. Your boy, he's been trying to get back into shape. He's been trying to get back into shape, and I've been eating really well. I have been started going to the gym, and I'm gonna be honest. Between trying to start that back up, kids being home for the summer, and a dog that recently just got fixed, so got a lot of little extra things going on with the dog. It makes things a little chaotic here sometimes. It does. But I'm doing well. I'm excited to get into this because, look, the fact that you guys are here shows that you guys are next level. Look, these are the dog days of summer. Dynasty-wise, only the hardcore, only the true OGs are hanging out doing this kind of stuff right now. Most people, they're going to wait till August. They're going to wait till the first week of September, and then they'll start making moves or trades or whatever. Not this guy here. Nope. We're getting into it, and we're doing it all year long. Now, I had the draft board set up, but I just realized for some reason the settings on here are really, really weird. So let's try this again. I'm gonna do a new one here. Okay. Why is it still saying the same thing though? That's what I don't understand. This is where it gets tricky, guys. This is where it gets tricky. All of these why are these not saving? I don't understand. But anyway, Jacob Parker said, "What's up, party people?" Waggle says, "Happy lunch break. Drop the mics here. What's up, buddy?" Patty said, "Yes, Garrett made it. Cheers for the email last night, Scott Fishbowl." Absolutely. Travis said, "Hell yeah, discipline showing up every day applies to both the gym and Dynasty fantasy football." Fatima's here. Man, we've got the crew. Now if I could just get myself in order, right? If I could just get myself in order and get these roster settings and all of this ready for this mock draft, we'd be golden. All right, so let's see. Lunch break. Thought I had this all right, and I don't. Mock. All right. Lunch break mock. We've got Snake. We're going to do PPR. Dynasty PPR. 14 teams. Timer. We're only going to give, we'll give 60 seconds. All players. Update. There we go. Now, rounds. Oh, we're going to need to add a bunch here. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. That gives us 14. That's probably more than we'll even get to. Sean, what's good, man? I'm doing good. Steven, what's good? Josh said he got the email last night. A couple of you guys in the Scott Fish Bowl. Congratulations. Love getting the opportunity to have more nerd herders inside the Scott Fishbowl. So let's go ahead. I'm going to claim my team right now. And then I'm going to take this link. And let's see. Let me copy the link. Actually, maybe it'll be easier to do this from the phone here. No, it is not third round reversal. We are not doing a third round reversal on this one anyway. We might do another one sometime where we add in the third round reversal, but we are not doing that today. So let me copy this. All right. Send it to myself. Bam. All right. And then we can add this. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I know me setting things up is not the most dynamic content ever. So I do apologize. Thought this was all set up. Wasn't. All right, getting the link. All right, got it here. Copy. All right, I'm going to post this into the YouTube chat. All right, post it into the YouTube chat. It's just the first 13 of you guys to hop in with me. That's really all it is. First 13 of you guys to hop in, get to be a part of it. So let's see. There we go. It is now officially posted, so you can claim your spot. So get those spots while you can. Yes, let's see. Fatima says, good luck, you lucky ducks. Yeah, we only had so many spots. I would love to get more people in. I would love to get tons and tons of people in to the Scott Fishbowl, but there are only so many spots available. Only so many spots available for everyone. So for those of you that got in, congratulations. For those of you that didn't, it's not the last time. There's still more time. There's other places you can get it, but look, next year, the year after, we get Scott Fishbowl entries every single year that we get to give out to you guys. So we're going to do that every single year where we're giving out those spots. Ryan, what's good, dude? Let's see. Hopefully, I thought I posted it. Yeah, I posted it. Hasn't shown up in my chat yet. Let's see. Why has it not shown up in the chat? Let me try again. All right. Everybody's like, where's the link? I'm just lying to you guys. Just a bunch of lies. It's so weird. You can see I'm posting it. I'm posting it, guys. I swear. I'm posting it. I don't know why it's not showing up. All right, let me try it. Let me try to put it in my notes, and maybe I can do it that way. Or we can pull up the YouTubes right here. All right. Pull it up here. And we'll go to the live stream. And let me copy and paste it again. All right. Try now. Hopefully. Oh, I see it. It popped in. It's there. All right. Now everybody can do a mad dash. Hop in to the draft. All right. I'm seeing people in here now. Oh, yeah. It's flying. It's flying. If you want to get a team, you better hustle. All right. First 6 spots have been claimed. First 9 spots have been claimed. We've got 5 spots remaining if you want in. 5 spots remaining if you want in to this single quarterback. And that's something that I was talking with somebody the other day, that even though for a lot of us hardcore guys, Superflex has become the standard, there's still a lot of people that play 1 QB. So I like to try to stay up on that, so that way I have information to give as far as that goes. Oh, we got Pete in here? Oh, he was here, and then he left. He had the last team. Oh, he's gone now. Pete, you were in, and then you missed your chance. Pete, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, it looks like everyone is in. So let's go ahead and start this mock draft single quarterback style. Oh, he was here.
We
then
go.
He left. We've got the
He
first
had the last
pick
team.
up.
Oh,
he's gone now.
And Cake
Pete, you were
Farts.
in.
Fantastic
And then you
name,
missed your
by the way.
Missed your
Cake
chance.
Farts is the first
Pete,
one up.
Thanks,
Why
buddy.
do
I
we
appreciate
only
it.
have
All
5
right,
rounds?
It looks like everyone is
What
in
in
so
the
let's
world?
go ahead and start this mock draft single quarterback style.
Let's see.
Oh, he was
here.
here.
We
Then he
go.
left. We've got the
He had
first
the last
pick
team
up.
up.
He's gone now.
And
Only
Cake
have 5
Farts.
rounds.
Fantastic
And then you
name,
missed
by
your
the way.
Missed your
Cake
chance.
Farts is the
Pete,
first one up.
thanks,
Why
buddy.
do we
Appreciate
only
it.
have
All
5
right,
rounds?
it looks like
Roster size is
everyone
15.
is
What
in.
Give me
And
5
so
in the
let's go
world?
ahead and start this
What is happening?
mock draft single quarterback style.
Let's see.
Oh, he was
here.
here.
We
Then he
go.
left.
Mess.
We've
Hot
got
mess.
the
First
last
pick
team
up.
up.
All right.
He's gone now.
We're gonna do
And
5
Pete,
rounds.
you were in.
Fantastic.
And
And
then
then
Missed
I
your
don't know
chance.
after that.
Is the
It
first
doesn't
one.
make-
Thanks,
Why
buddy.
do we
Appreciate
only
it.
have
All
5
right,
rounds?
it looks
Roster
like
size is
everyone
15.
is
What?
in.
Pete, if you're
And
there,
let's go
world.
ahead and start this
What is happening?
mock draft single quarterback
Voice
style.
style.
Oh,
It's
he
'cause
was
here
here.
we
Then he
go.
left.
There we go. Let me log out of that. I did it. I did it again. I apologize. Yeah, Pete, if you could look and see if there's a way to add rounds on the fly, because I feel bad that we did this. I'm going to go, if you listen to our most recent episode, I am even more bullish on some of the top running backs. So in this one quarterback dynasty league, I'm going to be going with Bijan Robinson. Nothing against taking Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison there. I think all of those would have been excellent selections. But I had to go with a young stud running back. Couldn't get in while listening to the show. All right, so we're back. Man, I am like the warmest of messes today. I don't know what's wrong. I can't get anything right today. So funny. All right, so far we've got Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian McCaffrey. That's probably the biggest surprise pick so far. Older running back, obviously a stud, just got a new contract, so he gets a little bit of boost in value. But that one did surprise me. Oh wait, are the voices back? Multiple voices? Hopefully they're gone. If I pause the draft, this is not Titan Premium. Okay. All right. So here, hold on. If I pause the draft, let me pause this real quick. All right. Go to draft settings. Let's see. Peter, where do I add rounds at? I'm not seeing a place where you can add rounds. All right, so the voices aren't back. That's good to hear. I am not seeing that as an option. All right, we'll just have to do 5 rounds. Should be under roster settings. All I'm seeing is select roster position. So maybe if I add like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex. Now maybe it'll give us more rounds. Let's see. Nope, still 5 rounds. Yeah, I don't know why. Peter's saying, wait, refresh the page, okay? Let's refresh it. Oh, we got tons of rounds now. We have more rounds than we will ever need. Peter, you're the man. All right, let's resume this draft. So we had Christian McCaffrey at the 1-4. I took Bijan Robinson at the 1-5. Jamar Chase at 1-6. Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1-7. Puka Nacua hops into the first round here at pick 1-8. And then we had Breece Hall go at 1-9. So Breece Hall at 1.9. All right, we are good to go now. See, we're cooking with peanut oil. Oh, we lost Team 13. How did that happen? He gone. All right, he's gone. It is what it is. Garrett Wilson at the 110. We still got some good running backs out there. It is not tight end premium, but we do still have a good young tight end available. Curious as to when the first quarterback will go off the board. Also, adding QB makes it super flex. Did I add a super flex position? I don't think I did, and the ADP isn't showing super flex ADP. So just know that it's, because it does look like I added the super flex position. So just know it's not. It's 1 QB. Classic 13-team league. There we go. So Waggle said, won't lie, CMC was a misclick meant to go with Chase. All right, that makes sense. So we've got Tyreek Hill, and then so Jahmyr Gibbs, Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor, and then we've got A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, and then the first quarterback off the board. But, of course, the first quarterback had to be from the auto pick, so we don't really know how everyone feels and how early they would be willing to take the first quarterback. But Chris Olave, Patrick Mahomes, beginning the second round. So for you guys here, put in the chat, where would you be willing to take either Mahomes or Allen, whoever your top quarterback is? How early would you be willing to take them in a one quarterback league? Because I know on one side, it's the traditional understanding of one quarterback leagues is quarterback just doesn't have as much value. On the flip side, Dynasty adds in a layer of complexity to this because you're stuck with that quarterback long term unless you can trade or draft one. Then the third component of this is 12-team versus 14-team does put a little bit more emphasis on getting a top-tier quarterback potentially. So I'm curious to see what everyone thinks as far as where they would be willing to draft their first quarterback in a one-quarterback dynasty league. All right, Saquon Barkley goes at 2-3. So captain, he's going with that win now approach. A little bit older assets, but opportunity to win now. We've got the Detroit Lions. Zach's going team Detroit here with Gibbs and Laporta. Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle for the crowning. So looking good there. Andrew saying it's got to be Allen first. Couldn't dog anyone for taking one here. Not my strategy usually, though. So, okay. So comfortable in the middle of the second round, taking your first quarterback. And obviously your only starting quarterback off the board early. Sleeper just kicked you. Oh, no. Hopefully you'll be able to get back in. I don't know if I pause the draft, if it'll let people back in. Let me see. If I pause the draft for you real quick. If I pause the draft, see if you can hop back in, and maybe we can even get somebody in the Team 13 slot. Oh, looks like Patty, or looks like you're back. Cool. All right. So we'll keep it going. So Travis Etienne after Josh Allen there, and then Devon Achane. Not going to lie, even though this person's one pick behind me and one pick in front of me, Bay, I like your start. I do. I like that start. It looks very, very nice. Ooh, so I got a tough decision to make here. There's a lot of good wide receivers on the board. A lot of ones that will be difficult for me to choose between. For me, it's between Drake London and Michael Pittman Jr. I like both these guys, but I'm going to go with the upside of Drake London here. Although I just realized I did the same thing. I took 2 Atlanta Falcons, so clearly I'm Team Falcons. If I would have thought through that a little bit more, actually, maybe I can just switch this. Can I switch it? Change player. Yeah. All right, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do Michael Pittman Jr. For my pick there. Because I don't think I would want to necessarily go with 2 guys on the same team. Not the end of the world. Like, it's really not. But, oh, well, Jay Cressy got his guy then, so it worked out. Steven Jr. said, love the Nerd Herd episode with Pete, especially the ADP game. I decided to play with y'all while listening. knowing I was probably going to pass the 75 mark. Surprise myself with a 62. All right, Steven, I see you. 60. I enjoyed that ADP game quite a bit as well. We'll have to play that with Rich and Matt too. All right, so last few picks, Devon Achane. I went with Michael Pittman Jr. to pair with Bijan Robinson, Drake London. We've got C.J. Stroud with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now we've got the final two picks, the two teams that went with Justin Jefferson and C.D. Lamb. Those are the two teams that are up and next to pick. Yeah, I love the game episodes too. I'm a big fan of taking fun ways, unique ways to get across points. And I think games do a good job of doing that. We still have the opportunity to talk about players, their values, what you would trade them for, things like that. And you can do that while playing fun games. So I think it's good for entertainment value. I think it's a fun way to kind of package all of it together. Cake Farts, you ended up going with Brandon Ayuk and Jalen Hurts. So we've seen 4 quarterbacks go roughly in the first 2 rounds. Hurts was on the turn, so you could argue he would have gone either way. Fatima says, any way you can incorporate who is on the block and who people are interested in this year in the Sleeper Mini. Who is on the block? So what you're saying, if your league put somebody on the block, that would automatically show up in the Sleeper Mini? That would be interesting. It's definitely possible. I know they have a lot of stuff they're working on as far as development goes, so I can't promise that something like that could happen, but I could definitely pass it along. I can promise that. I will pass that tidbit of information along. Last thing, I got tons of things that I want to talk about. But next thing that I wanted to talk about, or at least mention, is I know that this is a mock draft episode, but I'm still happy to answer some questions if you guys have some questions, trade questions, things like that while we're discussing the draft. For sure. Feel free to put those in the chat, and we will definitely get to those. All right, Jalen Hurts at the turn. Then we got Rome Odunze, Dalton Kincaid. So we've got the 3 big wide receivers off the board, and the next 2 tight ends, and Kincaid and McBride. And now I am up. It always catches me off guard. It shouldn't, but it absolutely does almost every single time. Man, this is a tough one for me. I'm not loving my options in this area. So I'm going to go with DJ Moore. Build up a solid wide receiver core in a 14-team league. Even though it's a deeper position, they still can run out fairly quickly in a 14-teamer. It's the depth isn't as crazy as it is in that 12-team league. So definitely wanted to make sure I get my hands on a guy like that there. Love that 2-3 pick turn with Hurts. Absolutely. Jordan said, almost missed the lunch break. Jordan, we're glad to have you in, buddy. Glad you did not miss it. Glad you're here. Basically, recap for those that came in late. And Jordan, my guy Jordan specifically. Today, things have been a little messy. Look, I'm even looking at the top. It says lunch break mock with no K. I didn't even spell it right. So things have been a little messy today. We got the wrong camera. The draft wasn't set up correctly. And I almost was late myself. So it's been a day. But we are doing a 1 quarterback mock draft, still PPR, but just a 1 quarterback mock, because so often we talk about Superflex, but we don't always do enough for the 1 QB homie. So wanted to do a single quarterback mock draft here for you. So that's what we're doing today here on the Dynasty lunch break. All right. Right after I took DJ Moore, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker went off the board, and Joe and Bay, it's similar builds. Quarterback in the first round, 2 running backs afterward. And I'm going to be honest, I thought about taking my second running back as well. I just have a hard time with a lot of guys in this tier right now, but I can't blame you for taking these guys to secure yourself some running backs, because they're already hard to come by in a 12 team, but in a 14 team league, they can be very scarce very quickly. So I don't blame you guys for doing that. Obviously, I decided to go a different route, but I can't blame you guys for doing that. Right after Kyron and Kenneth Walker, we had Nico Collins and DK Metcalf off the board. Dead center, who has two wide receivers at the moment. See if maybe he grabs a third here, or maybe gets a quarterback. Definitely some running backs available. So curious to see which direction he goes. Andrew says, currently in the middle of a super flex half-point PPR startup. I started my first 3 picks with Mahomes, Tyreek, and CMC. So my strategy is obvious. Should I trade back into 4 and 5 to acquire more older talent? You can, but what tends to happen is there are a lot of very talented veterans that tend to fall into the rounds 7 to 10 range. And guys just don't want them because they want that younger build. And so if you're going with a win now, in fact, I did a interesting strategy. I'm not quite ready to talk about it because we're going to talk about it on the next Talking Dynasty episode. But there are definitely some ways where you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, where you can build a win now team, but make some moves to already kind of have your rebuild in place. So I'll be talking about that on the next Talking Dynasty show. We're going to talk about kind of roster strategy and stuff. And dang, the tight end run hit before I had a chance to jump on board. So Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers, and Mark Andrews all off the board. Picks 1 through 3 in the 4th round. T. Higgins goes there as well. But let me finish recapping the 3rd round. Lamar Jackson off the board. So our 5th quarterback. Zay Flowers off the board. Josh Jacobs went. So another team with 2 running backs. Team 13 has 2 running backs as well, with Isaiah Pacheco going. And then we had Tank Dell and Kyle Pitts at the turn. Pitts is the guy I was really still hoping to get at pick 410. Obviously, I was about a half a round off there. Bowers at 4-2, Andrews at 4-3, Higgins at 4-4. Matt says, have you ever done a supplemental draft? Thoughts? When should a league consider doing one, if at all? I end up either orchestrating as a commissioner or participating in a supplemental draft almost every year. I think supplemental drafts are super fun. Like super fun. I truly love doing them. Basically, you can really do it anytime you have a situation where a team leaves a league. I think that's one of the most fair ways to do it. So what you'll do is, assuming you have multiple teams that are willing to do this, you take all of the assets from that team, put them in a pot. Then any other team that wants to get in on this can put all of their assets back into the pot as well, and then everyone gets a redraft. Now, that's not just players. That's also draft selection. So you have to be very cognizant and careful when you decide to do this. But I think it's a really, really fun way to kind of approach this. So, yes, I've been in many, participated in many, and orchestrated several as well. Patty said, potentially leading pass catchers for all of their respective teams in PPR leagues. I am happy so far. Yeah, you've got a lot of pass catchers available for your squad. So I'm about to be up here and kind of looking at my options here. So we've got a lot of older assets here and available. I could go the quarterback route. Xavier Worthy was actually the pick I was leaning. So that was an excellent selection there. Ooh, that makes it tough for me. That makes that tough for me. I'm not a big Rachaad White guy. I'd consider James Cook here. I'm going to go with Debo. I think he has a nice combination of, still has a few years left, not quite in that Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs range, but could be in an interesting situation. And I think that's pushing his draft capital down a little bit. But overall, I think he's going to end up being an undervalued asset because whether he stays in San Francisco or goes somewhere else, he's going to get the rock. He's going to be a really good asset for the next 3 years or so. So I like Deebo Samuel there. Let me recap. I think I talked through T. Higgins. So Jonathan Brooks at 4.5, excellent pick. Another one I was kind of hoping fell to me. Travis Kelce, George Pickens, Jordan Addison, and then Xavier Worthy. I went with Deebo. Then we had Cook, Mixon. Dang it, Hawkinson. I almost took Hawkinson there, but I was like, I might wait one more round. Should have trusted my gut. Should have just gone with TJ Hawkinson there, but I thought ADP-wise, he's so far down. Should have known better. The Nerds not slaves to ADP. They take the best available guy on their board. So should have not trusted you guys and gone that route. All right, so yes, TJ Hawkinson at pick 13. Nice pass catching group. Another team with 3 pass catchers and then the tight end, so 4 pass catchers really. So you and Mr. Woke over here, Patty, you guys are going to be battling it out for all those receptions. All right, so Cake Farts going with Derrick Henry here, the running back position getting a little bit on the thin side now. Wants to get that workhorse for the season. It's a little earlier than I would go, but I understand the concept. But it does feel a tad bit early for Derrick Henry for me. So Jacob said, in the recent wide receiver 1 episode, y'all briefly discussed going even more in depth at wide receiver, spreading the field to 18. Personally, I think you should go to 24 because those guys are top 50 to 75 fantasy assets. Yes, we wanted it to be elite players, not just any player. So I can understand the top 24. I don't know that I can go that far and still call those guys like game breakers, game changers. Andrew said, sorry, I meant to trade back from 4 and 5 into round 6, 7, 8, so we are on the same page. Yep, I think that's a totally fine strategy, trading back there to get those assets. Jordan said, I'm in a new Dynasty league with friends. What's your preferred format for Dynasty? Current plan is 12-team Superflex PPR, start 11, half PPR for tight end, or half tight end premium. That's very close to my preferred. I like to do half point reception for running backs, full point for wide receivers, 1.5 for tight ends, because it kind of levels out the playing field for the running backs a little bit there. So that's my preferred. But I also like to have a Devi element to it as well. All right. So last time I got caught, assuming that ADP wise, you guys weren't gonna hurt me, and I keep getting hurt. So I got to go with the guy that I think I would normally take here. So I'm going to go with a running back. I love a lot of these players, but Trey Benson is actually my running back 13 in my rankings right now. So I would have him right after Jonathan Brooks, who went roughly probably around 13, 14. So I would take Trey Benson there. So I'm going to reach a little bit, but I know you guys would take him if I didn't. All right. Jacob said, I wonder if it would make it more clear how valuable wide receivers are, because some 13 to 15 finishes could be wide receiver 1 finishes in other years. Yeah, that's why I think going to 18 is how I would like it. Sean saying, sounds fun. I think he's talking about the startup or the supplemental drafts there. Jason got caught in a bad spot at tight end too. It's tough. There's only so many to go around. So it's a tough spot. I kind of regret not taking tight end there at pick 410. Michael said, should I accept Bijan? Or sorry, let me get to Andy's. I missed his. In a 14-team super flex league. Those are tough. I'm in 1 or 2 of those. Those are tough. How do you put a premium on quarterback? Would you go Nix and or Penix over Worthy, Ladd, Brian Thomas tier of wide receivers? For me, it would probably go, I'm not as high on Nix, but I'm higher on Penix than others. So for me, it would probably go Penix, Worthy, Ladd, Nix, Brian Thomas Jr. But like I said, I'm admittedly probably too low on Nix and higher than consensus on Michael Penix Jr. But it also depends on, like, are you able and willing to wait that long on a quarterback? Are you willing to wait 2 seasons? Some people are, some people aren't. That kind of has to factor into your decision making there a little bit. Michael, should I accept Bijan, Hawkinson, and a first for Jefferson? 1 QB PPR. My current running backs are Monty Swift, Javonte, Lloyd Wright, and Kendre Miller. Wide receivers, JJ Chase, Flowers, Devonta Smith, Odunze, and Kincaid at tight end. That is a haul. I love Justin Jefferson. It is really hard for me to give him up. But getting Bijan Robinson, where you can see, 5 picks apart in a 1 QB league. That's it. Actually, 4 picks after. So he went 4 picks after Justin Jefferson. So if I'm getting Hawkinson and a first on top, I think that's enough of a sweetener for me to do it. That's a tough one to do. Anytime you give up a guy the caliber of a Justin Jefferson, that hurts. But I think there's enough there where I would be willing to do it. All right, so Anthony Richardson just went off the board. Then Rashad White, Ramondre Stevenson. So we're seeing the desperation for running back in a 14-team league start to hit. People are like, I got to make sure I get my running backs. Joe Burrow, Ladd McConkey, Jaden Reed, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Mr. Woke still does not have a running back. One of 2 teams. Bonji does not have a running back, and Mr. Woke. Well, we'll see a running back go here. So we got Javonte Williams off the board, who, I love Javonte, so that's always a good pick for me. And then Jaden Daniels, so kind of rounds out his roster, his starting roster for the most part there, getting Jaden Daniels and then getting Javonte Williams as well. Rashee Rice is a tough one to figure out right now. I have a hard time trading for him. I have a hard time trading him away. I think he's the classic hold, but in a draft, figuring out the right spot to take that risk versus reward with a Rashee Rice is really, really difficult. Captain, he's going all in with the win now, and the team's looking pretty good for a win now squad. Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Mark Andrews, Devontae Adams, and then Alvin Kamara. So nice win now approach on that team. I like it quite a bit. Zach's up here. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Jaden Reed, and then goes Jordan Love. So we've got 2 Packers and 2 Lions on the same squad. So I could see there being some inter-team turmoil there. Let's see. Patty said, I was sniped. I wanted Ladd at the turn. Mr. Bakes-a-Lot's here, man. Hadn't seen you yet. Glad you're here, buddy. Good to have you on the stream today. Dead center, he's got 3 receivers. He's got McConkey, Neighbors, and Wilson. Jonathan Brooks at running back, and then Lamar Jackson. So overall, young team, obviously somewhat of a veteran quarterback there, but still not very old. But pretty young build overall. And then you go to the next team, the Crowning, and they're doing more of the win now approach as well. Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow. We get Brian Thomas here, so adding to the young core. I think that's a good range for Thomas. We all know, I'm not the biggest fan, but I still think that's a very good range to get him in. First round wide receiver. What was he, the 3rd, 4th wide receiver, or 4th or 5th? He was either the 4th or 5th wide receiver off the board. I think he was 4th. So a good range to get a guy like that. All right, let's see. Any other trade questions I missed? I think that's it. I think I got all caught up. But feel free to post those in the chat. I'd be happy to answer any and all of those trade questions that I can get to. The Crowning, like I said, going with a more of a win now approach. Added Amari Cooper to the squad. Now we have Joe up, and let's see what Joe's gonna do here. Could go, he's pretty solid at running back, so I doubt he goes running back here. 2 young receivers, could go quarterback, could go tight end or add to that wide receiver core. So curious to see. Or running back. What's to say he doesn't bully the running back position? But we get Keon Coleman here, which I think is a good selection. All right. Anthony Richardson, last pick for Bay here. We've got Jamar Chase, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, Xavier Worthy, and then the aforementioned Anthony Richardson. Andrew said, feeling pretty good about this win now squad. My whole team will be gone in 2 years, though. Hey, I get it. I've done that too. So Terry McLaurin goes off the board. One of the guys I was considering. And honestly, for me, it's between these two guys. It's between Najee Harris and Justin Jefferson. I think Najee Harris is one of the most undervalued assets at running back right now. But getting a good long-term quarterback like a Justin Herbert, I have a similar value on him as Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, like all these guys that have gone basically from Lamar after. So it feels like a good value there too. I could go either way on that. I'm going to go with the running back though. In a 1 QB, I still think that there's some good value in some veterans, some different players later. So I really want to build up in a 1 QB. I really want to build up that wide receiver room, that running back room. Don't really care as much about that quarterback. So I've got Bijan Robinson, Trey Benson, and Najee Harris as my running backs. Michael Pittman Jr., DJ Moore, and Deebo Samuel at wide receiver. But we'll see how it works. We will see how it works. All right, Sean says, quick strategy question. Coming off a ship in a 12-team super flex with low trade activity, I have a super team with a mix of old and young assets, having trouble getting deals done. Best way to move forward. All right, Sean, here's one of my favorite things to do. I like to do an auction. And I will say, all right, at the end of now, I wouldn't do this with like a super valuable piece, but do it with like a middling piece. So let's say it was Amari Cooper or Alvin Kamara, somebody like that. And say, I am trading this player at the end of the day, no matter what. So whoever gives me the best offer, that's who gets him. And as soon as you get your first offer in, you don't have to say what it is, or you can. Some people like that. Some people don't. Don't have to say what it is, though. But you start a leaderboard. So you say, if this was the league here, I'd say, Joe just gave me an offer, and it's the leading one, obviously, because I don't have any others. So that's the first offer. As soon as you get the second one, you say, oh, Joe gave me an offer, but dead center gave me a slightly better offer. So he's in first place. Now in second place is Joe. And then as soon as you get your next one, J.C. Parker, he gave me an offer, but it was the worst one of the three. So he is in last place. But here is the order of the offers right now. Can anybody beat dead centers? And you just go on like that. It seems to drum up activity. It seems to drum up excitement. It gets people talking. So that is you can't do it all the time. It'll wear itself out. People get tired of it. But I do think it's a fun strategy to kind of get the league moving, talking, and willing to make a deal. Faith Family Football says, multitasking is impressive, brother. I appreciate it, man. Matt says, thanks for passing on Herbs. I was hoping he would fall. Dang it. Yeah, he fell. And kind of wanted him. Kind of wanted him there, not going to lie. But it is what it is. There's some other quarterbacks, I think, that are still some good values. Cooper Kupp, Zamir White, Tyjae Spears. Love Zamir and Spears. Love them going there. George Kittle, Aaron Jones, Justin Herbert, Calvin Ridley, and then the homegrown homie, Nicholas Chubb. So that puts me back on the clock. Got a lot of options here. A lot of options. Still some good quarterbacks out there and available. But I'm still not going to go that route. At this point, tight end, I'm probably punting tight end. Although Evan Ingram is interesting. I'm actually going to go Evan Ingram. I think he's a good value at that point. Tight end 2 last year. He's been really, really productive with Jacksonville. So, yeah, I think I'm okay with Evan Ingram there. I was going to pass on him and just keep loading up at wide receiver and running back, but I like it. Matt M says, I'm in a startup in FFPC Superflex doing a productive struggle build. Would you go Kincaid or Bowers? I already have 325 first, Purdy and Marvin Harrison Jr. I lean Dalton Kincaid. I think both are fantastic players. I don't view them a lot. I don't view them much different from a talent perspective, but I do value them differently from a situation perspective. And I think Dalton Kincaid is one of the best tight end situations in the NFL. So I would go with Dalton Kincaid there. Mini tight end run here. Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, all going right after Evan Ingram. So always fun when you get to start a little run there. Ooh, do I have anything to drink? In my haste, once again, sloppy work on my, you know what? I'm going to give myself negative marks today. I like to give myself grade, and I'm a tough grader. And today, preparedness, it's like a D-. I like to be very prepared for these. I was not. And I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to take that back to the locker room. We're gonna have to adjust at halftime, and be better next week. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. No bubbly. No, I'm rocking the Polar seltzers. I like those quite a bit. This one's pretty good. This is just an empty one though. Raspberry pink lemonade. So that's one that I've been going with a lot lately. Is the Polars. Those are some of my favorites personally. But yeah, no bubbly. All right, so right after the tight end run, Chris Godwin, a guy that I was really considering there with Evan Ingram, David Montgomery, Blake Corum, Ricky Pearsall, another guy that I was considering, Kyler Murray, so getting your first quarterback there. Kyler Murray, another guy that I don't view super different than Richardson and Caleb Williams and guys like that. So I think that's a good value pick there for this team, a win now team. Put you in a good spot. Keenan Allen off the board at the 7-13. And then I will have to say, the auto draft team, not one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites overall. And then Mr. Wokes on the clock. Got himself another running back in Brian Robinson. Let's see if he doubles up at the position or goes somewhere else. He does double up. James Conner. Then we have Jalen Warren off the clock at 8-2. I was considering James Conner to give myself kind of the past, present, and future of the Arizona Cardinals backfield. But, he's gone. It is what it is. Jordan says, no worries, buddy. We still love you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. There's weeks where we have it all together. And life is smooth. Life is good right now. Life is very good right now. But life is very chaotic. Very, very chaotic. Any parent that works from home and has their kids home during the summer understands the feeling. It's really difficult to be able to get as much done as you want in the normal amount of time. So any parent that does that understands. Matt says he's got look at that. You got a drink ticket for me. Look at you. Winner, chicken dinner. I appreciate you. All right. I'm about to be up again. Let's recap these last few picks. Deontay Johnson. That win now team is looking to win, baby. Adonai Mitchell. So right next to him, going real young, really loading up on those young wide receivers. Love to see it. Christian Watson, Raheem Mostert, Austin Eckler. So some older running backs to kind of fill out these running back rooms. And then our guy Joe is up here. Just took a tight end off the board. We'll have to see what he's looking like here. Andrew said, really liking how this win now squad is building, except that my whole team is going to retire in 2 years. Yep. Understand it. Totally understand it. Jacob said, dude, I feel ya. Gets it, man. It's awesome having the kids around. It is. It's truly fun because you get to sneak out and go get ice cream and you get to do fun stuff and go to the park. But when it's time to buckle down and get things done, that part's a little trickier. That part doesn't go quite as smoothly each and every week. All right, Xavier Legette, a guy that I was strongly considering taking at this pick. So that's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow. I don't think anyone, let's see, am I the last team without a quarterback? Let's see. Okay. Joe does not. And
Come on.
Me and Joe. That's it. And they just got their second one. So the auto drafting now could end up hurting me because I was planning on going Dak Prescott there. So not thrilled with how that worked out, but it's all right. We're gonna move on. We're gonna keep it churning, keep it going here, and I really like. Oh man. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk here. I know I got two Jacksonville guys, two Jacksonville pass catchers, and that can be tough. But I still think Christian Kirk, despite the addition of Gabe Davis, despite the addition of Brian Thomas, I think he's probably going to be the guy that leads this team in receptions this year. So I'm going to take my fourth wide receiver off the board and get some Christian Kirk. Joseph said, other than Njoku, I like this young team that can compete. Would be very happy with this team. Jacob said, with this small heat wave. Why did I say business? Small heat wave coming, though. We're hanging out at the pool. Cannot blame you there. The pool is the best place to be on these hot summer days. So we have our first team intentionally taking two quarterbacks. So Brock Purdy off the board here at 8-12. Then Bonji's up. Bonji has a few good options still on the board. Could be another team to take two quarterbacks. We've got some young receivers. We've got some older veterans. Curious to see which direction he's going to take this squad here. We've only got about enough time for one more round, so I think we'll make it through probably 9 rounds. And then we will probably end up having to wrap this thing up. Oh, snap. Sorry, man. Sorry for taking Christian Kirk. But you have a very nice running back core. You got 4 stud running backs. But I know it can be tough in these streets. Trying to get that next wide receiver can be tricky. All right. Bonji took Lloyd here, which I like Marshawn Lloyd a lot. We don't know when he's going to get his opportunity. But I do like him quite a bit. I think he's a very talented young running back. Jameson Williams goes at 8-14. And then Cake Farts, he gets his last pick of the draft. Let's see what the final pick here is. Patty said I was reaching, but I had Purdy as QB2 in my Q. Hey, I get it. All right. Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. You guys ever do that? Oh, I thought for sure I was about to sneeze. Oh, I hate that. Oh, that feeling of like, I need to, but I can't. That's all right. I'm live on the air. I shouldn't sneeze live on the air anyway. All right. Hollywood Brown goes off the board. Kendre Miller. Jalen Wright. So some nice young upside running backs. Oh, we're moving. It's already my pick. DeAndre Hopkins then at 9-4. And I'm going to finally do it. I'm going to take my quarterback. I'm going to go with Tua as my starting quarterback here. So I ended up with Bijan Robinson, Michael Pittman Jr., DJ Moore, Deebo Samuel, Trey Benson, Najee Harris, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and Tua Tagovailoa. I like the squad. I'm not going to lie. Joe finally got his first quarterback as well. So the last team left without a QB has finally caved, and the game of quarterback chicken has ended. So well done, Joe. You beat me by 2 picks in our game of quarterback chicken here. Let's see. Matt said, fun mock here. GP, thanks for hosting. Absolutely, man. Anthony, I sneezed 3 times waiting for you to sneeze. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Jared Goff, second quarterback for Brandon. Zach Moss here at the 9-9. I think those, yeah, so 4th running back off the board. and we have our last 5 picks. Man, Joseph said, I wanted Tua over T-Law. It was close. I planned on taking Dak Prescott, actually, but the auto pick sniped me, so I didn't get a chance to get Dak Prescott there. But I'm higher on Dak Prescott than consensus, so I get it. But, yeah, I ended up going with Tua. Dead center, he's got a good squad going so far. Young build overall. I think both these teams, dead center and, both these teams, Zach and dead center, younger builds overall, which I do like those young builds. I tend to gravitate that way, but sometimes you just got to go with that win now team, and that's what we have captain here. So see what his last pick is. There's some good vets still out there and available. We could see, all right, Gus Edwards. So building up that running back room, that gives him 4 running backs, 3 clear starters, and then 1. We'll see. We will see. Dalton Schultz, and then the final pick of the draft for Mr. Woke. And he has, drumroll please. Yeah, I'm not going to do that for 37 seconds. But last pick in the draft. So curious, would love to see what you guys think. Other than your team, because obviously most people end up loving their team the most. Your favorite team of all the teams. So let me pause the draft now. All right, so your favorite team of all the teams. We'll move this down so we can see it clearly. You can see the entire draft board. There's some good teams out here. I'm gonna say this one's one of my favorites. I don't know if it's my favorite, but a really nice win now build for captain there. Probably it might be Joe. I don't love these 2 picks, but man, I love the start. It's a pretty good team. Bay, he was doing good until he got auto-picked. But I do love that start there. It's a nice start. Ooh, man. Parker's team's nice. Ooh. I'm going to say my favorite is probably either Bay or captain. One of those two. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Happy lunch break. I will be back again next week and each and every Thursday, probably. I'm sure there'll be a few I miss. But I'll be back next week. See you guys then.